Hello everyone and welcome to our first ever Ask the Qual live Q&A session. And my name is Frances. I'm joined by my colleague Alex today. We're very pleased to start these monthly mini-series about our qualifications. This month is Access to Higher Education. So thank you so much for pre-submitting your questions and for joining us today. We're happy to answer all of your questions about access and give you a little bit of an insight into our qualifications. Before we begin though, we just want to have a quick introduction about us. So my name's Frances, as I've said. I'm the sales manager for London, the South and the East. And I'm joined by my colleague Alex, who's the sales manager for the North, West and Wales. So a good split across the country. So obviously, if you are sat in any of our regions, our contact details are there for you. So please feel free to contact us if you have any questions, want to arrange a meeting, discuss anything else further with us. We would be more than happy to arrange a chat with yourselves. About a quick bit about Ascentis. We are a registered educational charity established in 1975 with a portfolio of over 400 qualifications that range from entry level to level 5. So obviously we have our access to higher education that we're going to talk about in more details, but we also offer many other qualifications such as employability, progression to further learning and work, essential digital skills, and of course ESOL as well. So we are actually the #1 ESOL provider in the UK, and we are also the #1 access provider as well. So we're very pleased to be able to say that. So I'm just going to hand over to Alex now.
Thanks, Francis. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining and thanks for the questions. Really appreciated. As Francis mentioned, we are the largest AVA in the UK. And the leading provider of access to higher education diplomas. Again, we're also the leading provider, so we're the #1 provider in the UK of English as a second language for learners of a second language, and our progression qualifications as well. We're fully regulated, as you would expect, by Ofqual, SEA, the CCA in Northern Ireland, and Qualification Wales, and we're also licensed by the QAA as well. What sort of things do you get from Ascentis? So we have a dedicated support team downstairs here in our recently moved into new offices, so custom built offices, and we believe they provide exceptional customer service for our centres. We also have across all of our qualifications comprehensive tutor guidance and free staff training throughout the year. And in terms of the tutor guidance for things like our short online qualifications, we've updated that as well. So you've got new glossaries in there as well to help you if you're using our SOQs. Our SOQs have proved very popular this year. There are about 10 guided learning hours. Our most popular have been things like personal mental health and well-being, infection control, so things that are very prominent with the pandemic that we've been in for the past 18 months or so. We have a wide range of teacher and learning resources, and particularly with everything that's gone on, we now have lots of blended learning options as well. So, for example, in our English qualifications, we now have some of that online. We have things like e-invigilation as well. So we have lots of different options that we'll be happy to talk about. And then all of our qualifications, so we are an educational charity. And you know, one of our main aims is to change people's lives through our qualifications, and so we like to offer clear progression routes from our qualifications for learners to progress into employment or further education as well. So things like the access to higher education qualifications that we're going to talk about today obviously provide that real clear progression into university and into into moving into a field that the learners are very passionate and very keen about as well. So in terms of a census, we don't have any minimum learner registrations. We don't have any registration windows as well, so you can register learners as and when you need to, and there's no minimum whether you have 5 or 500 or 5,000. There's no minimum learner registrations there. When you are an Ascentis customer, you have access to all of our qualifications at no additional charge. So you can just put in a qualification approval as and when you want. and we would provide those qualifications to you and the resources to you at no additional charge. And for the vast majority of our qualifications, funding is readily available within our range. Let's pass over to Francis for the last couple of slides, and then we'll get to your questions.
Thank you very much. So we have a few testimonials here from our customers, so a couple of you might recognise yourselves. So obviously Walton Forest have said that they are very pleased that we made the move to Ascentis for all our ESOL exams. The exams are appropriate for our learners and lecturers find the marking manageable. As an organisation, Ascentis is a pleasure to work with. Our queries are always dealt with quickly and we are extremely well supported by our verifier. And then one from Bradford College. We have thoroughly enjoyed our first year with Ascentis. There has been support of a high quality throughout the academic year. Support has been provided through a variety of roles, including the quality managers, lead EQAs and subject moderators. So some very nice testimonials there from some of our customers. And now we'll take the questions that have been submitted from our social media posts.
So the first question we've got is, can you please tell me more about the pathways that you do then?
Yeah, sure, we can. The problem is that we have 29 different pathways within our Access to Higher Education portfolio. So obviously I can't go into each one. I'd say that the most popular pathway that we have at the moment, and one that's we've seen a real surge in this academic year, is the nursing and midwifery course. So that's always been a very popular pathway with us, but from speaking to our centres about why has there been such a surge and uplift in this, it's because of people that have throughout the pandemic have wanted to change career, have wanted to give back, and so that's a very popular pathway. And then on that, on the health side, we've recently developed a new medicine pathway. So that was trialled in the last academic year by one of our centres, and there's been a really high take up of that as well this academic year as well. It seemed to get a lot of our centres excited towards sort of the back end of last academic year to take it forward into this, and we've got more centres who are keen to start using that and are recruiting for that for a January start as well. We then have things like health and social care and counselling and psychology, allied health professional pathways as well. So we have a really well-rounded healthcare section of pathways. We've then got a lot of science pathways as well, which obviously do feed into some of the healthcare ones, like the newly developed medicine diploma. So we've got science and social science, then we've got things like sports science as well, and health sciences and well-being. So really wide range there, obviously social science, sports science, health sciences, all very different, but all have that same base. And then we've got things like law, policing, criminal justice pathways as well. And we are developing another couple as we speak, but further information will come out onto that. So I hope that gives a bit more information without obviously knowing which pathways you're mainly interested in. I hope that gives a good overview, but we do have other pathways available as well, but they're sort of the main ones that are used by the majority of our centres.
Another question that we have is, what if I want a diploma that you don't offer?
So we would be more than happy to work with centres to develop new diploma titles and briefs that suit you. We would look into the request that you have. We can see obviously if there's elements from other diplomas that we have that would fit into that, or we could work to develop new diplomas as well. So that is something that we do. We work very closely with some of our centres. Some of our more recent ones that Alex has spoken about have come about through development as well. So our music tech has come through from that, and we have done work with other centres as well. So we would be more than happy to do that.
Somebody else would like to know, what resources do you offer?
We have a wide range of resources really that are available. So every month we have an Access to Higher Education digest that goes out to all of our centres. So if I look at last month's, for example, there was information about a new physics brief that had been written and was available. There was a presentation brief that we've reinstated, and we'd updated a biology brief. So really good information about what's going on in the product development team and what our centres might be interested in. We've also, within the last year or so, developed some workbooks. They're not available for every pathway at the moment. They obviously take quite a long time to develop. But these are really, the take-up has been really excellent of them. I was speaking to one of our centres about a month ago, and she was saying that it made a real difference to the learners to be able to take those interactive workbooks away, for the learners to be able to take their interactive workbooks away, and really it's really helped them within their diploma. We do have sample workbooks, so if anybody wants to have a look at a sample of the workbook, they can email Francis or I, or if you missed our emails earlier, if you email our marketing team, we can send those out. So that's just marketing@ascentis.co.uk. We also have, I suppose it's not really a resource that you'd see in a traditional sense, but we have a transition team here as well. So if you are looking at moving your provision over to Ascentis, we have a transition team that help you do that. And that transition team also helps, Francis mentioned about the new pathways that we can help deliver. They can also help move over and develop that pathway with you. But really it just provides that support. We know that moving AVA can be a traumatic experience, or certainly a very hard and long experience. So we have that transition team here to help. And then in terms of other resources, we have things like guidance for coordinators, for exam coordinators. We have exam preparation handbooks and general handbooks for all of our diplomas and units. And then we've got the things that you'd expect, like rules of combination and all of that sort of thing as well. So we've got quite a lot of resources that are available.
A popular question is, how flexible are the qualifications?
Okay, I'll take that one again. So in terms of our qualifications, so throughout all of the diplomas, really, there are different units that are available, and you can make the course up from those units. So as long as the units are taken from those that are obviously required for the course to be completed, you can really design that course as you wish within those units. So very flexible in that way. We can also, as Francis mentioned, develop new diplomas as well. So we can work with you. So if there's a particular diploma that you want that currently isn't available through a Census or anyone else, then we can work with you to create that. And more often than not, we will have some of the units that will be available for that as well. So it's not as big a thing as you might think. And also we can work with you as well. We can work with centres as well. So we're always on the lookout for writers. So if you want to help us develop that qualification and it meets your particular needs, then we're very flexible in that regard. So to answer your question, in terms of new provision, we're very flexible in what we can deliver and what we may already have to help deliver that. We can work with you. But also in terms of the existing diplomas and pathways, you can make those up from the units yourself, so you can have a really bespoke qualification and experience for your learner.
And the final question is, how can I become an Access customer?
So if you wish to be recognised to deliver the Ascentis Access to Higher Education diploma, then all you need to do is contact our customer service team to request the Access to Higher Education recognition application form. You then complete that form, send it back to us, and we then start that process of looking into approvals. So the customer service team's contact details, very simple, it's hello@ascentis.co.uk. Of course, you could contact myself or Alex as well. So I think that's all the questions we've got time for today. Obviously, these are supposed to be short and snappy ones. So if you haven't had your question answered this month, then we will try and answer some more as we go along on our social medias. But please stay tuned for next month's Ask the Qual as well. Thanks so much for joining.
Thank you, everyone.